Q7 is Audi's largest crossover, and it's the only crossover that comes with 7 passenger seating. Now the Q7 is slotted up above the Q5 in terms of price, feature content, and size too. And Audi's smallest crossover is the Q3, and it's also the cheapest and has the least feature content as well. Now, as far as styling goes on this all-new Q7, I love it, and I love how Audi didn't overdo it with the styling. You have clean-cut, handsome exterior looks, and you still do have a big old front grille, and it certainly does give it some presence. Overall, not a bad-looking vehicle. Certainly looks pretty good, and you do have these big old 20-inch alloy wheels that are star designed, as they like to call it. Now, our Q7 is the Premium Plus, and it comes with that package, which comes with a host of goodies such as Apple's CarPlay and Android Auto, and it also comes with this smart key here. And I love Audi's new key fob design. Looks pretty good in my opinion. Very high quality looking. You have your unlock, your lock, your power tailgate, and then your panic button as well. Now this color of the Q7 is known as the graphite gray metallic, with smart key access on all 4 doors of the vehicle. Also comes with a full-on black leather interior. Power driver's seat with power recline and power lumbar. Alright, now sitting inside of the all-new Q7 here, the best way to describe the design of the interior is simple yet elegant. But it's a really nice cabin design. Can feel a little austere in here, but it's still very nice. The step-in height is fairly low for the Q7 as well, and has pretty ease of ingress and egress. Now you do a push button ignition. Just put your foot on the brake and hit the button to start. And what you're hearing there is a 3-liter supercharged V6. Full leather wrap steering wheel. Coming to your transmission, you have an 8-speed Tiptronic automatic transmission. Now this shifter kind of looks like the shifter that you'll also find in the Jeep Grand Cherokee, but in the way it operates, it kind of reminds me of BMW a little bit. Now basically you just go down for drive, up for reverse, and then you do push for park with this little button right here on the shifter. You also do have manual shiftability via the paddle shifters too. When you put the vehicle into reverse, this will display your rear view camera with guidance lines and trajectory. You also do have front parking sensors and rear parking sensors as well. And your electronic parking brake is located right here. And I'm gonna go ahead and turn on the lights and the hazards. All windows are fully automatic in the Q7. Let's go ahead and pop up the hood, check out the engine bay. Heated exterior mirrors with LED turn signal indicators. Blind spot detection is available. Now with this new generation Q7, Audi's main goal was to build upon the recipe that made the original Q7 such a success. You have 20-inch 10-spoke star design bicolor wheels. Coming up front, you'll find high-intensity discharge headlights with LED daytime running lights. You also do have headlight washers too. Powering the Q7 here is a 3-liter supercharged V6 that produces 333 horsepower at 5,500 RPM and 325 pound-feet of torque at 2,900 RPM, with EPA estimates being a very respectable 19 in the city and 25 on the highway. And all-wheel drive is optional as well. and your only gearbox is going to be an 8-speed automatic. This 3-liter supercharged V6 certainly provides good acceleration numbers and really good fuel efficiency for how much power it has. Now, competitors of the Q7, you have the BMW X5, Range Rover Sport, as well as the Acura MDX. On the top right here, you do have roof rails, shark fin antenna. Coming to the rear of the Q7, you have LED taillights with LED turn signal indicators. Really good looking taillights here. And then you also do have rear reflectors and a rear window wiper with a rear window defroster, as well as a LED third brake light. At the bottom, you also do have dual exhaust tips with rear parking sensors. EPA estimates, like I said, are 19 in the city and 25 on the highway. Total vehicle price is $63,475. Of course, all of your basic power necessities, power windows, power door locks, and your power mirrors. And they do power folds. Build quality and materials are exquisite inside of the Q7, which you would expect out of Audi's most expensive crossover and their largest crossover as well. And everything feels expensive inside of here. Nothing feels particularly cheap inside of here. And I really do love these oak wood inlays that run across the whole interior. It looks really nice, and it certainly adds a little bit of contrast inside of here. Now up here you have nice soft touch materials on the upper door panel, mid door panel, as well as the armrest. The dashboard is nice and soft touch as well. Build quality is excellent, no panel gaps or anything of that nature. Interior trim and pieces fit well together and they do not creak. Overall, this is a really nice interior from Audi. Coming to the steering wheel design, love the steering wheel design of the Q7, very stylish. Coming to these controls right here, these are for your controls for the little information center right there, which I would get to in just a second. And then you have your controls for your steering wheel, and then you have your heated steering wheel button, and then you have your voice recognition, Bluetooth phone controls, all that good stuff. We also do have rain sensing windshield wipers too. And you also do have a power tilting and telescoping steering wheel. Pretty good range of adjustment, I have to say. Not too shabby. Up here, this is where you'll also find your auto-dimming rearview mirror and an integrated compass. And then you also do have touch-sensitive LED map lights. And then you also do have a sliding shade for your panoramic sunroof. What's pretty cool is that you can have the sunroof open and then the shade closed up. Definitely gives the cabin a much more airy feel inside of here. Seating comfort is excellent in the Q7, and the side bolstering is great on this vehicle. I would certainly take a long road trip in the Q7. The seats are just very comfortable, and they do provide a whole lot of support. Thigh support is excellent, and the headrests are nice and plush too. As far as visibility goes in the Q7, visibility is pretty good, not too shabby, and there's lots of glass area all around. And I love this little quarter window right here. It does give a little bit more visibility inside of here. And then the A-pillars are very thin. Seeing out of the windshield is pretty easy too. And seeing out of the rear, when it comes to rearward visibility, it is okay back there, but it's not the greatest. But there are crossovers that are worse in terms of rearward visibility. Overall, visibility is not too shabby. Down here, you will find dual cup holders, a little storage compartment, and a 12-volt power outlet. This is also your touchpad for the Audi MMI interface, which I will get to in just a second. And these are the controls for the interface as well. Coming down here, you have another little storage compartment. And then, this is where your center console storage is. Not a whole lot of center console storage. And storage is a huge thing when it comes to crossovers. That is a huge factor for many families, but not a whole lot of center console storage here. The climate controls in the Q7 are also easy to understand and has a pretty simple layout. I love that. And they went with traditional knobs and buttons here. And the knobs and buttons are pretty big. You have dual zone automatic climate control. Your temperatures are on the side right here. This is for the driver, and then this is for the passenger. You also do have your different zones, 3-stage heated seats for the driver and the passenger, your front window defroster and your rear window defroster as well, and then your fan speed is right in the center. Very cool. Coming up here, we do have your automatic start-stop system off button. So the automatic start-stop system is for when the vehicle comes to a complete stop, the engine will actually shut off to save fuel. And that's one reason why this vehicle does earn high fuel economy numbers. But you could turn it off if you would like. You have your traction control off button, your parking sensors button, your downhill descent control. And then this button right here lowers the screen into the dash if you don't want to see the screen at all. And then this is for your Audi Drive Select with your different driver selectable modes, which I will get to in just a minute. Alright, now let's get to the infotainment system and the multimedia interface. Now this is Audi's MMI interface, and it's a pretty darn good system. Now, of course, this is not a touchscreen here. Instead, you have a touchpad down here and then buttons surrounding it too. Now, let's get to the main menu. If you want to get to the main menu, you have to click on this menu button right here. And this is your main menu screen, and then you can scroll between all the different menus on the main menu. And this is how you scroll, by this little dial right here. But the rendering and the graphics on this system are beautiful. And then coming to vehicle, this is for your Audi Drive Select, or you can control the different driver selectable modes by these two buttons right here. And you have your off-road mode, a comfort mode for everyday use, and then dynamic, individual, and then auto too. Let's get back to the main menu. Also, what I do love about this system is that they do have a little back button on the touchpad right here, which is very convenient. Coming to sound, you could change your sound settings. From the treble, bass, the subwoofer, balance fader, sound effects. We also do have a 3D surround sound system in this vehicle, and it is Bose, which is optional. It's like an $1,100 option. Coming to radio right here. Of course, you do have AM, FM radio, XM satellite radio, all that good stuff. Pretty much all of the norm. And then it gives you Sirius XM alerts too. You can set your presets, of course. And you also do have HD radio, all that good stuff. This is actually a much better interface, and it's more easy to operate than their past generation Audi MMI interface. Of course, you can hook up your Bluetooth phone and all of that good stuff. And then your different media sources do include Bluetooth streaming audio, your USB port with iPod integration, and then your auxiliary inputs. Your USB ports are also located down in the center console. You have two USB ports down here, and then your auxiliary input. Coming back to the main menu, you have your telephone. When you hook up your Bluetooth phone, you can have all of your contacts stored on here and view your recent calls and have an integrated dial pad. Then you have your navigation. And then you can enter in your address by manually putting it in, or you could do it by the touchpad, which is pretty cool. Right now I'm putting in a B. And it recognizes it. Pretty cool there. Or you could do it by voice. Now the map quality is beautiful in the Q7. Great rendering and graphics here, and you also do have live traffic. It shows you your points of interest. This map is also borrowed from Google Earth, which is cool. Nicely done. You can also change your different map views as well. Shows you your traffic messages, and to zoom in and out on the map, you just do it by this dial right here. Coming to the main menu, we have your Audi Connect, and this is for all your services like your live weather, and it shows you fuel prices, online news, city events, flight information, parking information, Google Earth, Twitter. You also do have your Wi-Fi media player. Lots of stuff with the Audi Connect. And then right here you also do have your Audi smartphone interface. This is for your Apple CarPlay as well as your Google Android Auto. So you can hook up your smartphone onto the system and it pretty much gives you your whole smartphone interface on the system, which is pretty cool. And then you also do have your settings. You could change many different settings from the language, the date and time, unit of measurement, your display brightness, connection manager. You also do have the speech dialogue system. You could change the factory settings. Many different settings that you could change on the MMI interface here. Then you have your system maintenance too. Overall, the Audi MMI interface is one of the best interfaces in the business, one of the best infotainment systems, and it's pretty user-friendly once you get used to it and once you get the hang of it, and it's a beautifully designed system. Now, coming to the gauges in the instrument cluster, we have your tachometer on the left as well as your coolant temperature, and then your speedometer as well as your fuel gauge. In the center right there, this is your information center. It shows you your fuel range, average MPG, as well as your average speed. Gives you your long-term memory. And then you have your any warning messages that it shows on the system. And then you can hook up your Bluetooth phone. When you hook up your Bluetooth phone, it shows you any recent calls or anything like that. It shows you if any phone is connected. And then you have notes right here. And then it gives you a little mini map too. It shows you turn-by-turn directions, which is pretty nice. And then down below right there, this is for your odometer, your digital clock. It shows you what mode you're in for your Audi Drive Select. And then it also shows you your exterior temperature readout too and what gear you're in. Pretty nice, and I love the rendering and the graphics of this LCD screen right here. Now, as far as front occupant room goes, there's lots of it. There's lots of headroom in this vehicle, lots of legroom, and I have lots of room to spread out, and I found a very comfortable driving position in this vehicle, and I'm about 6 feet tall. Now, as far as the way the Q7 drives, the Q7 has a very smooth and comfortable and compliant ride, and it's actually whisper quiet inside of here, especially at highway speeds. Now, the Q7 isn't as engaging to drive as the BMW X5 or the Range Rover Sport. However, it still feels pretty precise around corners and pretty nimble. And I'd say it's much better to drive than the Acura MDX. All right, and let's go ahead and shut down the Q7. Let's go ahead and check out the rest of the vehicle. Do have a power tailgate. Now, cargo space is pretty average for the class, but one gripe I do have about the Q7 is that it has a pretty high load floor height. The third row seats do power fold, and you do have a little side pocket right here too. Now, build quality and materials do follow through in the rear of the Q7. The second row seats also do recline, and they do slide forward and aft for greater comfort. Now, sitting back here in the Q7, it's a pretty pleasant experience. I have plenty of legroom, plenty of headroom too, and I do have rear air vents back here as well as heated rear seats and two 12-volt power outlets. And then the seats themselves are also very comfortable and pretty supportive. Thigh support is pretty good. You do have your rear center armrest with cup holders. But overall, it's a pretty comfortable experience. All right. Now, the third row seat accommodations for the Q7 are pretty cramped for an adult, and it's certainly only recommended for small children. However, if you're looking for the best third row seat accommodations, I suggest checking out the Buick Enclave. Powered passenger seat with power recline. The glove box compartment, nice and damp, and lined with felt. So the 2016 Audi Q7 is an excellent choice for a large luxury crossover with its ample passenger space for its front and second row accommodations, and its luxurious interior with many high-tech options, and its very fuel efficient and powerful 3-liter supercharged V6. So remember that this is Cameron Birch from Cameron's Car Reviews.